also been intimated on the 524 roads currently ongoing across the states of the Federation. He added that 43 internal roads were being constructed in federal universities, out of which 10 have been completed. The minister further disclosed that the council also approved 523 million naira for the completion of Efalaye Erimo Iwaraja Road linking Ekiti and Osun states, which had been awarded since 2009 and has reached 85% completion. And in another development, the federal government says Nigeria's recent border closure drill has been linked to the recent rise in headline inflation, which is currently at 11.61% as at October 2019. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, made the observation when she briefed State House correspondents after the Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja. She said the recent figures from the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics were noticed since September. She explained that the increase in food inflation witnessed in September and October is linked to the increase in prices of food propelled by the border closure. And now the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has affirmed the victory of Governor Samuel Ortom of Benue State in the March 9 governorship election, while dismissing the appeal of the All Progressives Congress and its candidate, Emmanuel Jime. The court unanimously ruled that the appeal was lacking in merit. The judgment also resolved all the issues against the appellants. Meanwhile, the appellate court awarded the sum of 150,000 against the APC candidate as fine. And now a customary court sitting in Ishiokpo community in Ikwere local government area of Rivers State has declined from granting an application for an interlocutory injunction to restrain Eze Daniel Dodo Ogbonna as the Nyali Alakaya. Chief Robinson Agbaraka and 6 others from Alakaya community had asked the court to restrain the paramount ruler of Alakaya community in Obiakpo local government area, Eze Daniel Dodo Ogbonna, from parading himself as the paramount ruler of the community. The applicants also want the court to order that a caretaker committee be set up to manage the affairs of Alakaya community pending the determination of the substantive matter. But in a ruling delivered by the chairman of the court, Justice A.U. Ayinda, the court struck out the application for lack of merit, saying that the court has no power to restrain a process that has been completed. The court thereafter adjourned till 2nd of March 2020 for hearing of the substantive matter, which was filed by the paramount ruler of Alakaya, Eze Dodo Ogbonna, seeking the court to stop the aggrieved members from removing him as the Inyali Alakaya. Speaking to newsmen, counsel to the claimant John Nda welcomed the decision of the court, which he said is in line with the law.
Well, the issue is in respect of the running, management and leadership of a community called Alakaya in Rivers State. And my client, who had been fully chosen and coronated as the Royal Highness of Alakaya, a group of persons who were disgruntled and aggrieved, decided to set him out of the office. However, they brought an application before this court to restrain him from parading himself as the Royal Highness of Alakaya. But eventually, as the law also stands, the court refused that application. Reasons are very simple. The moment any act is concluded, an interlocutory injunction cannot lie against. And besides,
on his part, counsel to the second set of defendants, Godwin Agbara Oshimini, said he will appeal the ruling.
In the first place, we are not comfortable with the ruling. We don't accept the ruling and we will appeal against SEP over the ruling. Somebody who is not a chief keep on parading himself as a chief. And if it is not restrained, he will continue. Only God knows when this matter will end. He has enough provision at the customary court rules to stop him from parading himself as the paramount ruler and then set up a caretaker to manage the affairs of the people so that both parties will be at par, pending when this matter will end. Now, they are giving us dates in customary court. They are between a match. Maybe in that match, we will get another date again in October. Then you use that night to imagine how many years will the matter take before it will end.
Our correspondent Uchendu Wijowo reports that the Alakaya chieftaincy tussle was initially filed before a customary court in Choba before the ruling of customary court of appeal, which ordered that the matter be transferred to Ishiokpo division of the court. And as Rivers people await the presentation of the 2020 appropriation bill, the Rivers Civil Society Organization has urged the state government to concentrate more on education, employment and security. Chairman of the Rivers State Civil Society Organizations, NFA George Will, in an interview with our correspondent, expressed disappointment over the inability of the state government to generate employment since 2015. NFA stressed that the non-availability of the budget for scrutiny by Rivers people is undemocratic.
Our expectation from the Rivers State 2020 Appropriation Bill, otherwise known as budget document, is for the Rivers State government to concentrate on education, employment generation, security, payment of the 30,000 naira minimum wage to civil servants and pensioners. The Rivers State government have fared very poorly on poll carried out by reputable organizations, especially on the areas of education, employment, and security. We call on the Rivers State government to declare state of emergency on the employment generation by industrializing the economy, especially on agriculture.
NFA therefore called on the Rivers State government to publish the 2020 appropriation bill on an accessible website for public analysis and for the sake of transparency.
Our State coalition scored the Rivers State government low on the availability of the budget. The idea of making the budget available towards the end of the budget year do not encourage transparency, tracking, monitoring, and scrutiny by interested members of the public or organizations. We therefore call on the Rivers State government to publish the budget document on the Rivers State government website once it is passed into law. This is the only way to protect integrity of the process.
And some residents of Diob community in Port Harcourt local government area of Rivers State have raised concerns over recent armed robbery attacks by suspected armed criminals. The residents who confirmed the development to our correspondent observed that the four-man gang usually go through streets to street with a black saloon car with English-made pistol. One of the residents of the area who spoke to our correspondent said the last operation by the criminals were carried out in Obaziolu, Ejigini and Adeligbo streets, all in Diob. The respondent who spoke in the interview threatened to take laws into their hands should the criminals return for another operation, saying that the police have been notified of the latest development.
Come back again. They monitor the shop. They say the boys are from Gambia, black children percent. Because we now don't tell us all now. Say anytime they enter that street again, we'll talk political and even at the end, at the motor block, do not one entrance, my motor, no, 3 is revised. They all monitor shop where people with plenty, where they block food. And I see enter there, go from with them. Saturday evening. This is the happen around 7. They're explaining that country now for you. So have to find that particular number.
A senior police officer attached to E-Crack in the Malwan division of the River State Police Command and spokesman of Diob Vigilante Group, Prince Amatari, who were contacted, also confirmed receiving such reports from the public. And now this report here says that the University of Port Harcourt chairman of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, Austin Sedo, has expressed reservation over the disruption of an ASU meeting by students of the institution. Some placard-bearing students had gained entry into the meeting venue of ASU, disrupted the meeting and started chanting solidarity songs on grounds that they got information about a planned strike by the lecturers.
Academic staff union of this university, this chapter, decided to embark on the strike. We're here to register our displeasure. We're here to say 4 years must be 4 years. And we believe you hold the fiduciary position, the position of trust, where you should use your office to hold government and university administrators accountable and not just go on strikes instantly like that for reasons that do not have any beneficial effect to Nigerian students. And the way I say, look, any strike that is not beneficial to Nigerian students will not be part of, and we're not going to support. And we're here to say no, we're not in support of the decision of ASU to go on strike. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Reacting to the incident, the chairman of ASU in Uniport, Sedo, described the action of the students as the height of impunity for students and security to deny lecturers their rights. Dr. Austin Sedo said meeting was the usual ASU Congress where issues affecting lecturers were meant to be discussed.
As an individual and by extension through the platform of ASU has always been to benefit the Nigerian students. Number one, there is no strike. I don't know where you got the rumor. I think we just had an election now. 2 other persons came sometime in September, claiming to be president of the student union and NANS coordinator, and alleging that ASU was going to be on strike. Have we had a strike since then till now? No strike. No. There are individuals that are misinforming. There's no strike. We have not had strike. And let me inform you, In my tenure as chairman of this branch, when the present vice chancellor started the no fee, no result, I led this rescue to go to the vice chancellor.
Our correspondent reports that there were indications that the leadership of the student union government were in support of the decision of the institution's management to sack one Professor Frank Ugiomo, which ASU wanted to deliberate upon. And if you just tuned in, you're listening to the World News here on Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. After the break, we have more news, foreign stories, and sports stories. Stay tuned.
Do you want to enter university without the UTME JAM? Joint University's Preliminary Examinations Board, JUPEB, is the answer. Ignatius Ajuri University of Education offers courses of your choice, and the sweet and good news is that you start from year 2. Forms are available for sale up until 6th of December 2019. Hurry now to School of Basic Studies at St. John's Campus, Ignatius Ajuri University of Education, and grab your forms now. Courses we offer include medicine, law, vocational courses, any course in humanities, education, engineering, management science, and environmental sciences. For more information, please call Director Basic Studies Dr. Jerome Wosu on 0803 096 0994 or Mrs. Hope Kiwikoro, Registrar, on 0803 876 0905.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Welcome back. You're still listening to the World News here on your premium talk radio station, Today 95.1 FM. I am Ifeemi Andrew, and we're moving on now to more stories. Environmental activist Celestine Akbobari has debunked claims by the federal government and reasons behind the slow pace of the Ogoni cleanup exercise. Celestine, in an interview with our correspondent Sandra Kenneth, said contrary to insinuations of threats and violence, Ogonis have been well behaved towards ensuring quicker cleanup exercise. Akbobari, however, blamed the Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Program, HYPREP, and other ministries for the delay of the cleanup. The environmental activist, therefore, said Ogonis will work towards providing the enabling environment for the cleanup process to take place, just as he called on the federal government to stop exploring avenues that may hamper the process.
To say these things, then they are not fair to us. It means that the Ogoni people need to take some actions to, prove our innocence, if that is what they want. But I can tell you that, definitely, because they have done this, I think all the actions we will take will be non-violent. We are going to meet. Definitely, we will also have to send the delegation to the minister, because Ogoni struggle has been a non-violent struggle. So all the approaches and steps we will take will be non-violent.
Minister of Environment Mohammed Mahmood had, during the stakeholders meeting in Abuja, said land dispute and other forms of insecurity have contributed greatly to the slow pace of the Ogoni cleanup exercise. And this report says that the National Population Commission has flagged off the enumeration area demarcation exercise in the Chia local government area of Rivers State. The exercise, which will divide the local government area into smaller units for easy access and coverage by enumerators during the national census period, kicked off with the training of functionaries for a successful EAD exercise in the area. Speaking during the exercise, the Federal Commissioner and National Population Commission Rivers State, Ipalibo Hari, who disclosed that the exercise was the 6th in the state, said it would serve as a basis for local government planning.
We are dividing a chain into smaller portions, so that when the time for census comes, we'll find it easy to send our men to each smaller portions that make up a chain. And in taking that small portions, we'll know how many houses are there, how many people, after we have an idea of how many personnel we will send to that place. EAD is not census. In Rivers State, what we're going to do now is about number 6, is the 6th local government, because each exercise starts with a training session. But we are bringing new technology that we need to get our people acquainted with. And so they need to be trained for another 1 week before they will now be sent to their different communities. All of us want to know how many we are as a people from Rivers State, how many we are from Eche, because it will be a basis for government planning, for local government planning, state planning, for federal government planning.
Director of the National Population Commission in Rivers State, Jumo Baraye Adakabu, added that the exercise will petition each year ahead of the national census begged for the support of CDCs, stakeholders and chiefs to further enlighten their people on the importance of the exercise.
The exercise we are here for is a way to partition Eche local government into smaller units that is convenient enough for enumerators, for census personnel to work with at the time of the actual census coming up as soon as it's declared by Mr. President. That is what makes us to come for this present gathering. And the gathering involves chiefs and then elders, and including traditional rulers, the CDCs. All that we need is their support, the council, the support of the council, the security agencies, and the CDCs, for them to further enlighten their persons to know or to be able to secure our personnel.
Also speaking, coordinator of the CDC in Rivers State, John Onwugboalili, assured the federal agencies of the people's support and urged the commission to capture all areas in the local government. Our correspondent Stella Sasongo reports that a 52-man demarcation team consisting of 40 isolators, 10 supervisors and 2 quality control assistants have been recruited for each of the 37 states, including the Federal Capital Territory. And on the foreign scene, 3 health workers fighting to curb the spread of the Ebola virus in the eastern region of the Democratic Republic of Congo have been killed and 4 others critically injured after an attack by armed groups in the restive Ituri province. The head of the World Health Organization, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, tweeted about the incidents in the Baikato mines and Mangina response centers. On Tuesday, WHO said it was relocating 49 staff after crowds attacked a United Nations base in the town of Beni, accusing UN forces of not protecting them from rebel attacks. He said a few weeks ago, a journalist who was raising awareness about Ebola in the northeastern province of Ituri was killed and his house burnt down. DR Congo is experiencing the world's second worst Ebola epidemic on record, which has killed more than 2,000 people and infected over 3,000. And this one also here says all commuter train services in Cape Town have been cancelled after an early morning fire destroyed 18 carriages. City of Cape Town Fire Service spokesman Jermaine Karelse said the alarm was raised at 2:20 a.m. local time. Karelse said a number of motor coaches and passenger coaches were destroyed and the fire was extinguished at 4:53 a.m. He added that no injuries were reported in the incident. And that's it on the news, but before we go, let's take another look at our major stories. Nigerian lecturers have been complying with the federal government's directive and IPPIS despite stiff opposition by ASU. The federal government has attributed the recent increase in inflation rates to the closure of the border. And we also told you that a customary court in Ishiokpo community has dismissed an application for injunction seeking to stop Eze Daniel Dodo Ogbonna from acting as the paramount ruler of Alakaya community. And on the foreign scene, you heard that an armed group has killed 3 health workers in DR Congo. And that was the news that's edited by Chinedu Iwuna. For comments and inquiries, please call 0815-341-8657 or 0814-434-3502. You can send your emails to news@todayfmlive.com or you read our stories online at www.todayfmlive.com. And that's our package for you for the afternoon. Thank you very much for your time. My name is Ifeemi Andrew. Good afternoon.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Did you know that the Chartered Institute of Project Managers of Nigeria, established under Act No. 3 of 2018, is the only statutorily recognized Chartered Project Management Institute in Nigeria, empowered to license all project managers and project management bodies, certify every student project manager upon graduation, approve and accredit project management courses for higher institutions and other related institutions, regulate all project management practices in the non-governmental organization, private and public sectors of Nigeria, train and retrain every project manager and personnel. The Chartered Institute of Project Managers of Nigeria hereby announces the induction of her prospective members into all categories of its membership, scheduled to hold as follows. Date 13th December 2019. Venue International Conference Center, Abuja. Time 10 a.m. prompt. Registration of new members is still in progress. Hurry now and be registered with us. For inquiries, visit www.cipmn.org.ng or call 0703 209 3149 0708 733 4558. Announcer Dr. Mrs. Victoria I. Okoronkwo, President and Chairman, Governing Council, Chartered Institute of Project Managers of Nigeria.
This is Today 95.1 FM. To copy this tune, press 9.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
For current news and information, press 5.
They are politicians, all of them. They know what they do.
So they know how they attack each other.
To stay connected all day, press 1.
The person who raised the name is the one who made the public know about
Well, good afternoon and welcome to the world news on your premium talk radio station.
We are your premium talk radio station. Today 95.1 FM, the station with a unique dial.